All right, folks, today is Friday, November 22nd, 2019. About to guide coat this shell and start with 400. Starting a little later than I wanted to, but just been kind of tired of working on this thing. So the dash still looks good. It's dried and cured and all that. So I'm going to guide coat this entire shell. 400 grit in preparation for paint. I did buy the paint. I got the paint reducer and clear. I picked up some AC filters I'm going to put on these windows to just try and block any dust from coming in. Picked up a new box fan for 20 bucks just in case the old one craps out in the middle of painting. Picked up a rubber hose at Harbor Freight. Originally I had this PVC hose, and what I've learned with that is they get stiff and they flop around, and I don't want it slapping the side of the car or anything like that and kinking up, and so I just spliced it with the what you call them things, hose clamps and a barb, and ran a 25-foot rubber hose. So anyway, so guide coat this thing 400. Same process as the 180, except you're just using a different grit of sandpaper. At this point, at this stage, the panel should already be flat. Shouldn't have any dents. And all we're doing now is, hopefully, making them smooth with 400 grit scratches that hopefully the paint will cover. I'm also going to seal this thing before I spray it. But when you get to the 400 stage, or 320 if you prefer, the panel should be flat. There should be no more filler work. There should be no more primer, any type of body work, dents, anything like that. The panel should be flat, and all you're doing is prepping it for paint adhesion. Hopefully that's the case. If I run into any problems and I do have to primer it again, I have primer. So the goal today, or this weekend maybe, hopefully, I don't know, paint it Sunday morning. Gonna see how well this afternoon goes. I'm not in a rush. I got a 4-day weekend coming up for Thanksgiving. So worst case is end of next weekend this thing will be painted. Might try and squeeze it this weekend, but I'm not really in a rush. I'd rather take my time. I mean, if I take my time and just do 1/4 panel today, then so be it. So anyways, enough talking. I'll bring y'all back once this thing is in guide coat. All right, 5 minutes later, got this thing in guide coat. You notice that's about as heavy as I like to put it on. I just got the rocker, lower quarter, trunk gutter, back of the quarter, and what it does is you've already seen the videos, but see how that's kind of a build-up right there, all the way down the seams, because I really hammered the primer on. It highlights any imperfections, as previously stated in the videos. One. This one. We got a few right here. So what that does is it lets you know that needs addressing. That area needs attention. Without the guide coat, you can easily miss that spot. So the guide coat. Here's some more weird stuff going on right here. So now we're going to hand block this. Use a medium-sized block, maybe a foot long, or see where we go. I got a little hand block, 6-inch or whatever. So we block this thing down, see what we got. But like I say, the panel should already be flat. Once that's done, you can go with the wax and grease or soap and water, and you can do like a reflection test to see if the straightness of the panel is to your liking, because when it's wet with either wax and grease or soap and water, it's going to be kind of like mimicking a clear coat. You can see if you have dents that you missed or whatever and stuff like that. So this guide coat is very crucial whenever you want to get a panel really straight, or as straight as possible at least. When I block sand, I don't use any gloves. Some videos out there show guys wearing gloves. I think it's impossible to feel the panel if you have gloves on. I usually take my ring off, because that kind of gets in the way. Also, you don't want to scratch it. The base coat I got is designed to cover 400 grit scratches in 2 coats. So I'm going to go with 400 grit, and then I'm going to seal it. So the thing should really cover with 2 coats. Some bases you can spray over 320 and stuff like that. So I'm just going to start knocking this stuff down. Should take me about an hour and bring y'all back. Just a little in progress here. I spent about 5 minutes on the top of this quarter panel. And as you can see, most of it is gone. You still have a little bit there. You can see the texture of the primer. So what you're seeing on the guide coat remaining is, it's like orange peel texture of the primer. It's low spots in the primer. There's some more. So you haven't really hit this edge here. Didn't break through. I need to do this curve right here, but I already got this down really good. There's none. There's no more guide coat left. So this 2-foot section right here, you can say that's ready for paint. So that's the process. Another one here. It doesn't necessarily mean at this point that that's a low spot. I just may not have spent that much time blocking that area. If this was 180 and you had a bare metal here and some weird color here, that would mean that's a low spot and that needs either to be banged up or skim a little filler. So that's the in progress. So I'm just gonna keep on blocking. Y'all stay tuned. Started on this lower section. This top section blocked down really good. The only breakthrough was a slight little bit right there and very little right there. That doesn't even require any more primer or anything, so that's fine. What I wanted to show you is how to block with the 400. It's very gentle. You're not gouging the panel. You're not forcing the block onto the panel, because like I said previously, the 180 and the filler and the high build and the Evercoat has already gotten the panel flat. So at this point, all you're doing is prepping the surface to adhere, or for the paint to adhere to. So you just kind of let the sandpaper glide, and you just let the dust fall off. This primer is really good. Let me see if I can video this. Kind of awkward. You're just letting the sandpaper just glide across the panel. Blow it off and see what you got. And you come back and do the other direction, crosshatch. So you see this section right here needs more. And now the guide coat's gone. So there's plenty of videos out there on YouTube show you how to block sand a car, but I know there was some guys that had commented and wanted maybe a little in progress video. So you're just gently sanding it and you're just letting the primer just fall right off. Here's another area right here we're gonna try and get. And it's gone for the most part. So that's the process. Gently, it's like you're sculpting the body of the car. This is super soft. 400 grit is super slick. So I'll just bring y'all back once this whole quarter panel's done, and we'll see what we got when we get it blocked.